Hey everybody, how are you today? I'm Shelly Palmer and welcome to Web3 Wednesday. I am so happy to have everybody here today. Thank you so much for joining. If you're with us for the first time, chat's where it's at, even if you're not. So tell us who you are, where you are, tell each other what you do. And of course, it's an Ask Me Anything Wednesday. So anything you're thinking about, anything you want to talk about, I am completely happy to answer your questions. It has been a very busy couple of weeks. I've been on the road. I was in Germany at Sports Innovation 2022. The people at DFL Bundesliga in Germany had this wonderful conference in Dusseldorf, and they were showing off all kinds of extraordinary sports technology. A lot of fun, and yeah, it was great to be back on the road. Actually, I'm leaving for Paris tomorrow night, and I'm going to go to give a speech at a MasterCard president's meeting in Paris. I'm excited about that too. It's sort of like it was back on the road, going out and, just chit-chatting everywhere. So I'm really excited about it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, David, and welcome, Heinrich, and welcome, Ettore, and welcome, Bernie. I'm glad you guys are all here. Please, again, just tell us who you are, where you are, what you're doing, what you're thinking about. We've had a very big week here at the Palmer Group. Many of you know that I've been working on this project called Metacademy. Metacademy.com is our new risk-free, totally free to use educational platform. So you can go to metacademy.com and sign up right now. And I'm going to take everybody through that in a little while. One of the things I want everyone to know about is that our conversation every single day about everything we always talk about is happening on Discord, discord.gg/Shelly Palmer. If you don't have a Discord account, please get one. And join the conversation. There are a bunch of different channels there. The daily blog, we have discussions about my daily rant. We have discussions about all kinds of fun stuff there. So please join us on Discord. That's where the 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year convo goes on. For those of you who are devout followers of Douglas Adams, today is Towel Day. Everyone's carrying a towel. I'm carrying a towel. It's the most useful thing in the entire, for any hitchhiker in the galaxy. So Towel Day is today. And in honor of Towel Day, it is my great pleasure to this time offer you a POAP that cannot be scammed, because we're going to send individual links to everybody. So we've made a special commemorative POAP that's a proof of attendance protocol token, and you can get your POAP by going to shellypalmer.com/POAP. It won't be immediate gratification. You'll receive an email that then gets you the link to the POAP, but it'll be your personal link to your personal POAP. You can either use your email address if you don't have a digital wallet, or if you do have a digital wallet, you'll be able to put your public key in and get your commemorative Towel Day POAP. And of course, the goal here is to collect as many POAPs as you can from our Web3 Wednesdays. And then ultimately, we will allow you to use them to get merchandise. And it's a kind of a watch to earn model that we're going to put together. And the goal here is to just explain how all of these tools will be working together for you, for your business in general. So anyway, shellypalmer.com/POAP gets you the POAP. And I hope that you will do that, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do with the collection of POAPs at a later date. Okay, just getting into everything. So what's going on? Well, the crypto market is in a lot of pain, as you know, and it's been in a lot of pain for the last few weeks. ETH this morning, let me just look, 1965 as I'm here. And Bitcoin is at 29,638. And while I generally don't care what the price of Bitcoin or ETH or Matic or any of the cryptocurrencies are, it's very clear that we are off, depending, 30, 40, 50, in some cases 70, 80%. This all went down in the middle of May. A couple of weeks ago, we really had a hard crash. And that was courtesy of some stablecoin issues. And so I'm getting a phone call. We can't have any of that. It was courtesy of some stablecoin issues. What happened was UST, which is Terra, part of the Terra Luna Foundation, got unpegged or depegged from the dollar. They're supposed to be worth $1 for dollar. They're an algorithmically pegged crypto, and it just got unpegged, if you will. And Luna went to zero, and I think Terra was down around 19 cents or less. It raised an awful lot of wealth. For those of you who don't know what a stablecoin is, stablecoins are generally coins that are pegged to fiat currency. So USDT, USDC, BUSD, these are supposed to be backed dollar for dollar by dollars, American dollars, US dollars. UST, which was Terra, I think it was the third largest stablecoin by market cap, is what's known as an algorithmic stablecoin. They used other financial instruments aside from just US dollars to back it up. The belief system in that went away. The algorithm had either glitched or did its job, not sure which, but one way or the other, investors got freaked out and started selling, and there was the equivalent of a run on the bank, and it went well, super south. And so at the end of the day, the crypto markets kind of went with it. What's interesting is that the crypto markets seem, for all intents and purposes, to be fairly well coupled to the stock market, where the NFT marketplace feels like it's decoupled. And we've seen this decoupling over the last few months, where NFTs have kind of gone one way and cryptocurrency has sort of tracked the S&P, tracked the Dow, tracked the NASDAQ, as goes stocks or as goes equities, seems to go big crypto. Why? There are a whole bunch of people that are going to tell you why. I'm not a financial advisor. Crypto is inherently risky. This show is for your enjoyment, entertainment, and enlightenment. So please, if you are interested in some learned, scholarly ideas about why the stock market's up or down, or if you're going to make an investment in crypto, I would beg you to consult a licensed financial professional. One of the funniest things to come out of the Terra and Luna debacle was a group of people put together another kind of stablecoin. They called it USDT, TEA, and the goal here was it was the first stablecoin backed by cans of Arizona iced tea, which apparently have been 99 cents for a very long time. And so it's 99 cents, and these are, I think they bought 1,000 cans, and they pegged their cryptocurrency to their stablecoin to cans of Arizona iced tea. By the way, as funny as that is, and it is pretty funny, it's not the dumbest thing anyone's ever said out loud, because realistically, you can peg a currency to anything. I mean, you're not locked into any particular thing. Questions. If you got them, we're going to ask them. I have my towel ready. That was from Douglas Adams, so clearly that's not an actual person. Let's see what else is happening here. What does this say? Seth Green lost an NFT, and now he can't make a TV show. Oh, yeah, that was this morning's rant. Okay, wait, I think I have a picture for this. Hold on a second. I do. Wait a second. I do. Here we go. Hold on. Yeah, Seth Green's Bored Ape NFT was stolen before his show debut. This is fascinating. This is like one of the most interesting things that's happened in NFT world in a while, because it kind of crosses over all kinds of different disciplines and areas. We should talk about this for a second. Let me just call up a little data here. Hold on. I wasn't quite ready to talk about this today. Well, I did rant about it this morning. So let's talk about this for a second. Okay. So Seth Green pitched a show, and he's been talking about this show for a while. And the show was going to have, it was called White Horse Tavern. And what the show was supposed to be was based on his NFT characters. He's got a bunch of NFTs in his wallet. One of them was a Bored Ape that he spent a lot of money for. And so mostly when you buy an NFT, you are buying what's known as fair use. In other words, you're not getting the rights to whatever the NFT represents. An NFT is a receipt, right? So let's say you're getting a piece of digital artwork, generally speaking. The copyright in and to the work is held by the original artist. You are getting with your NFT, most times, not always, most times, fair use, meaning you can display it in your own home, on your website, in your wallet. You can say you own it because you do, but the copyright, the rights in and to the work, stay with the original artist. This is true certainly if you buy a game highlight NFT for football or baseball or hockey or basketball. You don't own the player, you don't own the number, you don't own the uniform, you have no rights to use that highlight in your own television show. You have the right to display that. It's called fair use. But the case of Bored Apes, it's a little different. In the Bored Ape Yacht Club, when you purchase your NFT, where you purchase your Bored Ape, the NFT says in the metadata that you have rights to use, likeness you can use. You've got the image and likeness, name. You own the copyright for that Bored Ape. You can do anything you want with it. It's yours. Very unusual. Not totally unusual. Got to read the fine print. It's what the fine print's about. When you buy something, are you getting fair use of it or are you getting it? In this case, when you buy a Bored Ape, you get rights to use it. Well, unfortunately for Seth Green, his wallet was hacked. And the hacker took a bunch of NFTs. And one of the NFTs was the Bored Ape he was going to base White Horse Tavern on. Oops! So now he's been tweeting to the wallet holder of the person who bought the Bored Ape from the scammer, which is Darkwing84. So we know what wallet the Bored Ape ended up in. We even know who stole it, the wallet. We don't know the person, right? But Darkwing84 has just gone radio silent, and poor Seth Green cannot get any rights to use his Bored Ape. Can't get his Bored Ape back. There's nothing that can be done. So this is all pretty interesting because we don't have copyright laws that are clear here. If someone steals a copyright, are they the rightful owner? It's kind of interesting. If someone steals a copyright, are they the rightful owner? Because that's what's happened here. The Bored Ape image is not the NFT. Remember, in our world, one of these is not an NFT. You see Beeple on one side of this. You see the ERC 721 contract. That is the receipt. That is the NFT. The image is an image. The contract is the contract. So if I have a receipt, a bill of sale, which is all the NFT is, and the bill of sale says I own it, but that's stolen merchandise, is that bill of sale valid? Well, in this case, did the new owner, Darkwing84, does Darkwing84 or did Darkwing84 know it was purchasing a stolen Bored Ape? I don't know. Do they know? If they knew, well then they're trafficking in stolen merchandise. That's all kinds of world of hurt. If they didn't, they're just an innocent bystander, but they've spent the money, and so they've purchased with what they believe is a legitimate purchase from a legitimate seller. It's theirs. The law is unclear here. This is all kinds of crazy. So I have seen legal professionals weigh in all over the map on this one. It is one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting, copyright issues I've seen in a long time. But it does tell every one of you, if you're going to purchase something, whether it's physical or digital, and you are going to represent your ownership with an NFT, then you should be sure what the metadata is going to say, and you should be sure what the rights are that you will be purchasing, so that when you purchase, are you purchasing a collectible or a piece of artwork? Could be digital or physical, doesn't matter. And you're with a fair use doctrine sitting around it, or are you actually purchasing the rights to do what you want with this either physical merchandise or digital asset? Interesting set of questions, right? I really like the questions. I like it a lot. Always like to tell you about Techstream. Every Tuesday we drop a Techstream, me and Seth Everett. It's the pop culture you love, and of course we talk about the tech that you cannot live without. And more we've been talking, just Seth and I, about the state of technology and the state of the world we live. It's so much fun to do this podcast, and I hope you get a chance to listen to it. And of course, I always shill the book, so shellypalmer.com/blockchain. But there you'll find a whole bunch of resources that may be valuable to you. So it's not just about getting the book. And of course, what we did talk about today, and I want everybody, to remember, but as we go a little bit forward into today, because I'm about to take you to a new fun place. Get your POAP, your Towel Day POAP, shellypalmer.com/POAP, and we will send you a custom link that guarantees to get you this POAP with no fraud, and it will belong to you, and then you will have your proof of attendance for today. And when you save them, you can collect them like trading cards, and we're going to use them in the future, and everyone's going to have some fun as we use them in the future. It's going to be all good. All right. I am very, very pleased. Let me just make sure I don't have any more questions that I need to answer here. Is this a better week for crypto? Let me see if I can find anything here. Is there a silver lining to the crypto crash? Is there a silver lining to the crypto crash? Jane R., is there? Is there a silver lining to the crypto crash? I'll ask you in chat. Is there a silver lining? For me, the only thing good about the crypto crash is that some of the people who were in the get-rich-quick business are out of it by default right now. And it's a terrible thing to say, so I don't even think I could say that. I mean, no, there's no silver lining. People lost a lot of money. People who shouldn't have been in it probably will stay out of it now, but they shouldn't have been in it in the first place. So yeah, no, it's all kind of sad, and I just feel like nothing good could come out of it. But there is something interesting that happened earlier this week. We'll talk about that for 1 second. This week, Monday of this week, the last phone booth in Manhattan was removed. There it is, being taken away. They started in 2015, taking phone booths away, and now. And they replaced them with like Wi-Fi hotspots and charging stations, which I've never used and actually never seen in person past the point, because I don't think I've ever paid attention. I guess they're there. I just haven't paid attention to them. But this is the last phone booth going. And that was the end of an era on Monday. The very end of the phone booth era happened in New York City. But it was also the beginning of a new era. Ta-da! MedAcademy.com's public beta premiered on Monday. We launched the public beta of MedAcademy.com on Monday, and I hope you will all go there. And I am so excited about this. It's just like this super fun thing that we were able to do, and I want to take you through it, and I want to make sure that I can take you through it. I thought that I had made myself a pretty decent way to get this on camera. So give me 1 second here, and let's see if I can do that. At the end of the day, we are very, very excited. If you go to medacademy.com, what you'll see is a brand new platform. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's a brand new platform. It took us forever to get this done. It's a Web3 platform, which we're also very proud of, because we were going to try to do this differently. We were going to try to do this as a Web 2 site, and then we realized, wait, we're teaching Web 3. Why would we kind of like do that? If we're going to teach Web 2, let's teach Web 2. We'll use a Web 2 site, but if we're going to teach Web 3, let's go ahead and use a Web 3 site. So we did, and let's see if I can put this up for you right now and make this all happy. Here we go, and let's see if I can make this work. Let's see if that does that, and this will do this, and let me make that happen there. And now let me show you. So this is MedAcademy. Welcome. There's a little home page with a pretty picture of me, which is great. But once you get into the sections, the sections here, I'll see if I can make this a little larger for everyone to see. Let's see if I can blow that up a bit. Yeah, it's easy. So there's an introductory section, and then we have, we're teaching Web 3 in a section, and then we're going to teach the basics of blockchain, which I'm very excited about. We'll go then deep into smart contracts and decentralization, and then ultimately cryptocurrencies, all about what they are and what they aren't. We talk about how to install a MetaMask and how to configure it appropriately, how to stay safe in the world of Web3, which is how to safeguard your crypto, how to safeguard your wallets, what to do, how you'll connect your MetaMask to any given website. In this case, you'll be connecting, you see this is already connected to my MetaMask wallet. You'll learn how to obtain tokens from a faucet, which we're pretty excited about. You'll learn how to approve sites and how to spend tokens. You will learn how to make and mint an NFT, a non-fungible token. You will then learn about generative NFTs, and you'll learn to mint those. You'll learn how to read the metadata. We're going to take you a deep dive through the metadata. And then, of course, later we're going to go through tokenomics, layer 2, Web 3, what have you. So we've got a lot of stuff coming. Each section that you complete, you'll get a badge, right? These badges have redeem codes, and these are like merit badges, if you will. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Each section comes with its own merit badge. And when we're all done, you will get your a Web3 certification that will be an actual NFT. So that's Metacademy in the nutshell. I'm just super excited about it, and I hope that you will go there and that you just go do it. It's like just super fun. It's just like a super fun thing to do. So please, feel free to sign on. It's free of charge, and the reason it's risk-free is that we're using test currency. So and you're on the Rinkeby test network, so you're never at any time in any danger of losing any money. You're never gonna. It's just there's no risk whatsoever, and of course there's no cost. So please, go through it, and it's in public beta. And what public beta means to this group, especially you who I love who are listening to me, public beta means there are bugs. Find them, tell us about it. Also, we're just doing our very best to make this awesome. So if you see something that's not awesome or that could be better or more awesome, let us know. I always want to hear from you. You can always email me, Shelly@shellypalmer.com. Email me directly. Tell me what sucks. Tell me what rules. I mean, I like to hear what's good, but I also really want to hear what's not good, and I want to hear, I want to hear the most honest feedback that we can possibly get. So, yeah. What does built on Web 3 mean? That is a great question. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. I'll put this question right up. What does built on Web 3 mean? Thank you, Tom. So what does built on Web 3 actually mean? It means that there are profound differences between a Web 2 website and a Web 3 website. In Web 2, every single website has a unique address that is physical. 123.123.123.123 is a place. There is a domain name services listing an index that says 123.123.123 is here, and that means shellypalmer.com or whatever, something.com. If you were to go to that server and pull the plug out of the wall, the site would go away. It's gone. So a Web 2 site has a physical address. Now, there are virtualized servers, and there's all kinds of different ways to edge cache and to get websites close to the edge and to pre-cache them and to preload them. And you see it with video all the time. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can play games to make sure that your Web 2 sites load super fast. But at the end of the day, in the most simple terms, there's a unique address that's tied to an actual server in an actual place. When you pull the plug out of the wall, it goes off. This is not true with a Web 3 site. Why? Well, a Web 3 site, by definition, is going to be on a mesh network or a peer-to-peer network. So every piece of content in a Web 3 environment has a content ID, not a URL. Why? Because it's living on tens, dozens, hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of servers all around the world. When you have a mesh network, instead of having a client and a server like you do in a Web 2 world, right? There's the server, so web server serves the web site and then serves out the data, and then a web browser and a client reads that data and then surfaces that data however the HTML explains to it to surface it. In a Web 3 world, in a mesh network, everything's got a content ID. Instead of a server and a client, there are client-server nodes. So everybody's got both a client and a server. Every node is both a client and a server. What does that mean? It means that you can mesh them together. You've heard self-healing. That's what a mesh network is, or a peer-to-peer network is. The content lives all over the place on dozens or hundreds, depending on how popular it is and how good the software is that's running the mesh network. The content lives on lots of different places. So it's hard to delete because you delete it in one place, but it still lives in hundreds of others. And there's no server to shut down because every node on the network is a client server. There are no just clients. There are no just servers. Every node on the network is a client server. So that's the difference between a Web 2 and a Web 3 site. Now, how do you see a Web 3 site? Well, you have to see it in a web browser. So now I've got a new problem. And the new problem is, how do I get this page with a content ID, which is out in the universe on a whole bunch of peer-to-peer network client-server nodes? How do I get that visible on a Web 2 browser like Chrome or Firefox or Edge or whatever? And the way you do it is you have to pin it somewhere. In most cases, people use a pinning service like Pinata because it's easy, and the content may live in a distributed database like IPFS, the Interplanetary File System. So you've got this distributed database across a giant mesh network, and then you pin, using a service like Pinata, you pin the content IDs to URLs, and then the URLs are visible in a Web 2 environment. So a Web 3 site is a completely different animal than a Web 2 site, and they come with a fair amount of complexity, to tell you the truth. Now, what we've done, let's see what you're asking. So is it to ensure uptime? No, although that is probably one of the benefits of it. The goal of the original goal, and by the way, I don't know where this is going in the future. I'm just telling you where we are now. The original goal of this of a Web3 website was a decentralized website that could never be censored and could never be shut down, because it's living on client server nodes everywhere. There's no one to go see. You can shut down a half a dozen nodes, but you didn't do anything except shut down those nodes. All the other nodes still have copies. So it's this idea of this self-healing network where the content can never be eliminated, and everything is fully decentralized. This is pretty much the power and promise of all Web3, right? Decentralization. Now, what we're learning in practice is that decentralization is not the most important thing to everybody. That in the case of like the NBA and Top Shot, the NBA is the central authority for basketball in the United States. They are the community of passion around basketball. They are a central authority, and there's no reason to go outside of that central authority. Like there just isn't a reason. So you might want to have some decentralized characteristics to the NFTs so that they could sell on a secondary market in what's known as a trustless environment, where people who don't know each other feel comfortable transacting using cryptocurrency in a decentralized exchange. But if I'm just buying basketball paraphernalia that I want to be official and real, the NBA is the centralized authority. So Web3 is a different construct. Web3 is saying, I want to be outside of Facebook, outside of AWS, outside of Azure, outside of Google Cloud. I want to be out in the universe, and I don't want to get messed with or bothered by anybody. And I don't want to have anyone talk to me about who's in charge, and I don't want to have anyone talk to me about taking stuff down. It makes it a little harder to edit. It makes it a little harder to deal with. But at the end of the day, Web3 pages are significantly more clumsy. And the timing and the loading of the pages is specifically more clumsy. Let me see if I can quickly get to, I didn't expect this question, so let me just find this. If I could just type this morning. All right, here is a, I think I can put this into chat. I think because I'm the, see if that link is real. If you guys can get to that link. If you can, just someone tell me in chat that you can, so I know that you got there. So this is interesting because this website, this web page, if you will, this is a WordPress page at shellypalmer.com. It's React over WordPress. It's using WordPress as the CMS, and React is running the front end, the part that you see. Just someone ping me and let me know if you actually see this URL. If you don't, we'll come up with another way to get this out there for you. The name of the article is Web 3.0 Things You Should Know. Try that. All right. So if you go down to, if you hear in this article here, right? This is the article I'm talking about. So if you go down, let me just make this bigger. See if you guys can see this at all. Okay. So if you go down here and it says, if you click here, you'll be taken to a page that looks very much like this one. What we're going to see, if you look up here in the URL, all of a sudden, you're at an IPFS URL, right? This is like a crazy cryptic URL. This page is now the exact same page, except, I'll make it bigger. You can see it's the same page, except it's not. Because this page is living at IPFS, as opposed to the previous page, this page here, which this URL is at shellypalmer.com. These are subtle different. Are they subtle? Yeah, they're pretty subtle differences. I'm not going to say they aren't subtle differences. They're pretty subtle differences. But they're completely different constructs. They look the same. They'll both show up in a browser, but they're completely different constructs. Completely. So, yeah, this is worth a little study because you're going to give up performance. You're going to give up all kinds of things if you go pure Web 3. But you're going to gain some interesting attributes. Impossible to delete. Hard to edit, yes, but very hard to kill, very hard to censor. No one to go see. There is no man who's going to come in there and pull the plug. There's no plug to pull. Interesting, right? Kind of a totally different way to think about the World Wide Web. So Metacademy is a combo of both Web 2 and Web 3 because I think that's where the world's going to work. You know, some kind of combination of Web 2 and Web 3 is all going to come together. And I don't actually know, I don't believe that I know how this is all going to play out because you don't get a lot of benefit. You literally don't get a lot of benefit for a Web3 site unless you're looking for the, you can't shut me down, you can't censor me. Unless you're doing that, there's not a lot of giant benefit to the Web3 construct. You lose a lot of performance. You lose a lot of, people get bored. If your page doesn't load in a nanosecond, people like immediately go away. Like all that's really problematic. And it's really true. So that's what's going to happen. People are going to start, not loving you because you're not a performant site that they're used to going to. One last time, everybody. POAP, right? You want today's Towel Day POAP because, everybody needs to carry their towel today. Towels are important. The most useful thing in the universe is a towel. So if you want your towel POAP, shellypalmer.com/POAP, you'll get your POAP. We've got another question here, and let me see what this question is. Oh, wow. Too small for me to even see. Shelly, how will that work for copyright? If I license a song for a digital commercial, it has a finite term, so how would you stop the use if there was no way to get rid of all the copies in Web 3? There's no way to stop anything in a decentralized world. You can't make an NFT go away. You can burn depending on how you set up the original smart contract, you can burn, let me think for a minute. Yeah, you can burn an NFT if you write it that way. But if you don't write it that way, NFT is a receipt. It just says this transaction occurred and this is the rightful owner of this. This is the rightful owner. This is the transaction that occurred at that moment. That's all the NFT is. It's just a record of a transaction. So the burden will be on you, copyright owner, song owner, the same way it is today. So the Palmer News package, everybody tries to use that on their like high school news channel on YouTube. I don't go after them because it's not worth it. It's just they're not paying royalties. It's not a thing. When someone mashes that up and puts it on TikTok, I get a little PO'd because there is real money to be had there. Then the burden's on me to go to ASCAP and say this is a mashup using, a piece of music that I wrote with a couple other people's pieces of music, and I'm entitled to this percentage of the performance royalty, and TikTok's got to pay, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, the burden's on the copyright owner. It always has been. It probably always will be. But like, the question I throw back at you, Monica, is if you have a piece of music that someone gets off a CD and puts online, and they right-click it and they have an audio file, you have no control over how that's used either. You still have to go find where it's used and send a cease and desist or tell them that they need the license or something. So none of that's any different. I mean, look, remember, when I put this up a moment ago, this particular graphic, right? One of these is not an NFT. If instead of Beeple, which is the image you see there, instead of Beeple, if you had an audio file of your song, that's not the NFT, that's an audio file of your song. The NFT is the smart contract that recorded the transaction between whoever thought they had some rights to that file and the actual file itself. That's all. So you can right-click Beeple right now. If we go to Google, let me just do this really fast. If I type in Beeple and Google Images, here, let's just do it real fast. Here I am. There, I could go here. I right-click this, save image as. That's $69 million. That's a $69 million. That's a $69 million GIF or JPEG or whatever that is. No, it isn't. I don't own it. I have it, but I don't own it. It's not mine. So yeah, it's a pretty subtle difference, and it's not that subtle, between the NFT, which is a receipt, and the actual file, which is a file or an asset. By the way, if the NFT is representing a transaction that was you purchasing a house or a piece of physical merchandise, same. There are no rights. There are no privileges. There's nothing easy. There's about chasing after somebody who is illegally or improperly using or unlawfully using your copyrighted work or work that you own. And if someone takes your asset, like happened to Seth Green, someone just steals your Bored Ape, it's no longer yours. Somebody stole it. So that's that's kind of sad and kind of true. We have Stephen S. is asking a question here. I like this question. What are the pros and cons of releasing an NFT for a fixed price versus an online bid? I honestly don't think there is a benefit to ever putting a fixed fee on anything. You can put a price floor on your auction, the lowest acceptable bid, and that, for all intents and purposes, is exactly the same as saying that you have a fixed fee. If people want to bid more, they bid more. If not, if someone bids that fee or that amount, they'll take that amount. And that is, I think, the right way. eBay is very good at that. You have a buy it now at a price. That doesn't tend to happen at NFT auctions, but you certainly can set your minimum price, your minimum asking price, and if people put a time horizon. And after the time horizon, if no one's bid any higher, then you're getting your your price. There's an art to auctions. There really is. So I'm not telling you that I'm an auction expert, but there are auction experts out there. You can talk. There are many, many strategies, and there are many kinds of auctions, Vickery auctions, and oh my goodness, there's just so many different kinds of auctions. So I would definitely do a little reading about the various kinds of auctions. And also, it's good to know when you're on an exchange or when you're in a marketplace what kind of auctions they run. In some cases, you'll never pay more than a penny above the next highest price. There's all kinds of different ways that these auctions can be set up and are set up. So please do yourself a favor and be an expert in the auction methodology of the marketplace that you're using. All right, well, pardon me. One last time, the POAP for today is shellypalmer.com/POAP. That'll get you your commemorative token, if you will. I want you to email me at shelly@shellypalmer.com if there's anything at all that we can help you with, any questions that I can answer. Please, please, please. I'd love to talk to you about that. We are very excited about Med Academy. I'm begging you, go there, beat it up. Tell us what you think. Tell us what we're doing right. Please tell us what you're doing wrong. And as I always do, unfortunately, I want to bring up that our friends in the Ukraine are still getting pummeled every day. And while we've had some horrible, horrible news over the last few days with mass shootings and innocent people getting killed here in America for reasons that just make no sense to me at all, the people in the Ukraine are still under attack. And while there's very little we can do or have been able to do as a country to stop the mass shootings, however hard we try, or if we're not trying hard enough, at shellypalmer.com/Ukraine, you'll be taken to a site at NBC Universal, the Today Show site, where they have verified charities. And if you could find it in your heart to give to the people of the Ukraine, they desperately could use your help, even though they're not in the news every minute. They should be in the news every minute. These people have done nothing to deserve what's happening to them. I don't want to proselytize or get this into a place. There are many, many, many very important charities out there, and there are many people who have grave needs. People in the Ukraine are on that list. So that's, if you can find it in your heart to help or donate, please do. With that, what I'd love to say is that this, as you know, is my favorite time of week every week. We'll be back next week. I am in town. I'll be back from France after Memorial Day. I'm very excited about it. Send me your questions. Go to Med Academy. Do something interesting and tell me about it in the crypto world, because we're always looking for good and interesting stories. And any experience that you have, good or bad, that you want to share with us, please share with us, and we'll be happy to share it with everybody else. Thank you so very, very much for being here today. I wish you all the very, very best week possible. Have a fabulous, fabulous Memorial Day. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time. Take care.